So it's finally here. The game, the tugs you've all been waiting for. The one tugs a year where we get to punch this behemoth right in its stupid smug shin bones. Who would win? The biggest video game franchise of all time? Or two tugs boys? Either way, we're going to try, because if the new Call of Duty succeeded at one thing, it would be pulling down its war-torn pantaloons and shitting all over its rabid fan base of angry, bloodthirsty dickheads. Fuck you and the fan base you wrote in on. It's time for World War Tugs.
Here we go!
No, you fucking cuck!
Peggy 18.
Thanks to global warming, the only way to really be able to know that it's autumn anymore is when a new Call of Duty title is released. And there's really no better way to celebrate this yearly treat than cuddling up with a pumpkin spice latte and the gentle glow of your TV or monitor as you scream obscenities and insults into the warm, saliva-drenched headset microphone that you've been using for years and never cleaned once.
It's very smelly.
Seasonal depression be damned. I don't even know what time the sun goes down anymore because I'm locked away in my bedroom reliving the horrors of a war that literally changed the world.
It's fun now.
This is why my dad used to get beat up when he was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
And then he passed the beatings on to me.
That's how it works.
Yes. Now listen, we've been singing the praises of this new addition to the Call of Duty family ever since it was announced earlier this year because, god damn it, we've been wanting this ever since the franchise turned into jetpacks and wall running. And we get it. One of the obvious reasons that it started moving that way was not only because of a major gaming company literally profiting off of war, but also it was turning war into a sport for trigger-happy teens. I mean, Modern Warfare came out while we were still at war in the Middle East. It's pretty goddamn ballsy to make a competitive video game based around what was literally playing out at the time and attempting to make it fun. Bold. So yeah, it was a logical step to take it towards future war and away from its roots, because look, at the end of the day, you can call us pussies or wimps or cucks or whatever, but it is a bit weird to mindlessly murder hundreds of people every night in virtual recreations of battles that actually took place and that we have real footage of.
High-res footage. HD. But we digress. Let's do what 99% of players do and just shut down the empathetic parts of our brain and say that it's about fucking time that Activision took Call of Duty back to its roots with World War II, especially since fans of the series have been begging for it. But it almost didn't happen. Again. And we were this close to getting yet another future war game until the CEO of Activision told Sledgehammer, developer this time around, to stop what they were doing and go back to World War II. Yes, that's right. Just this week it came to light that Sledgehammer had originally planned to make Advanced Warfare 2 until the executives stepped in and told them no.
Yes.
So, thank you, Daddy Activision? So what about the game itself? How did that turn out?
Well, as someone who has a lot of firsthand and extremely frustrating experience with the game, there's a lot to unpack. I'll start by saying this is the first Call of Duty game I've purchased and played in years. So it was a unique experience to be excited for a game like this again. Now, sadly, that excitement was soon extinguished by the brisk fart that was so lovingly shot into my face via Activision's game servers. This fucking game, this AAA title from one of the biggest publishers and from a decades-old franchise whose popularity and day one purchases are rarely matched. This steaming pile of ass so putrid that Shibby wouldn't eat it completely fucking bit the dust day one. Day fucking one, hour one, minute one. It didn't matter how incredible of a gameplay experience lied within the dozens of gigs making up this game because you simply couldn't fucking play it.
Servers are down. No, servers can't be down. This is the biggest release of the year. You can't, they wouldn't let that happen. Call of Duty World War II service is not available at this time. Please try later or visit Call of Duty WWII status for updates.
Let down all the time for no fucking reason.
You're right.
Fucking reason. Right.
Immediately I started having flashbacks to 2012, a terrible year, but in retrospect, better than this one. I started having flashbacks to then and the error messages that plagued the release of Diablo 3, making it unplayable, but allowing users to experience what being actually trapped in hell would feel like.
You want to know what my World War II experience has been so far? First 8 hours of gameplay have involved watching a download. Because those Microsoft servers they slow. I think I have it though. I might actually play it tonight.
Nice.
Anyway, after a few hours, most likely because it was in the middle of the night for a majority of the country, those servers eventually became somewhat usable in the sense that you could at least get into a game. Once you were in that game, however, you were stuck there forever in a constant loop of the same game time and no loadouts, progression statistics, or rewards to be found. The game would just freeze, go black, and then you would start another match. The only option at this point was to quit the game from your system's home screen, reload everything, and then hope to actually get in. What a fun launch day experience.
Yeah. It was like if Diablo was hell, this was purgatory. Because you could get in after a few hours, but you were stuck there doing the same boring shit.
Right.
And you didn't even know how well you were doing.
Kind of like real war.
Yeah. But what are my stats, Chief?
Your KD ratio, well, you're not dead, so
Yeah.
pretty high actually.
Doing pretty well. Anyways, your girlfriend sent some cigarettes for you.
Yeah.
Go open them in front of your friends. The days that followed were filled with numerous failures on the part of Activision, who at this point should have no excuse to give such a botched opening weekend. Year after year, game after game, there are problems. And this obviously isn't just with Activision either, it's industry-wide. How is it possible with all the alpha and beta tests that they do, with the internal tests, with everything that goes on behind the scenes, how is it possible to fuck up so badly on launch day? Well, because deadlines are deadlines, I guess, but more importantly, this is all your fault. You, the gamers, the ones who actually seem to enjoy the abuse from publishers. You'll happily sit there and refresh and reload and quit and restart and stare at a blank screen for hours just to complain, but then keep playing. Grow some fucking balls, ask for a refund, and don't go back.
Man, doesn't it suck how these developers are always fucking us in the ass? I hate it so much. Oh, yeah. Anyway, doesn't it suck that developers always fucking us in the ass? Anyway, as the first weekend went on though, things sort of leveled out. But even this slight stabilization still propped up an unfinished multiplayer experience where glitches and bullshit continue to be prevalent. Earning supply crates and not receiving them, server lag so bad that some matches were unplayable, a party system that seemed to barely work, and probably worst of all, if we're talking about new features, completely shitting the bed, of course, the headquarters. Yes, the headquarters. Call of Duty's new social space where you can pick up orders, receive credits, test out weapons, sign up for contracts that are next to impossible unless you're literally a fucking god tier player with an abundance of luck, and best of all, open those gosh darn supply crates.
Hey, your best girl sent you some porno mags.
Hey,
Don't get any of that clap and bring it back to me. You jerk off to this magazine.
you leave that clap in the trench.
Now, okay, we do have to give some credit to Activision here because at the very least, they aren't currently selling supply crates at all. You have to earn them through completing contracts, orders, and progressing through the game. Now, this honestly shouldn't be shocking at all, and the fact that it is really says something about what gaming has turned into over the past decade or so. Regardless, there's another feature in here where you can open these things in front of other people and gain social rank for showing them off, which gives you other rewards. There's also in headquarters a 1v1 area, and then of course in headquarters you can just stand around spamming various emotes that you've earned at other players. Guns. 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 But, sadly, because of this game's abysmal launch, this too is completely fucked.
Rumors online suggested that the reason people weren't even able to get to the loadout screen after games and would just repeatedly get frozen and then loaded into another match was because after every match the game has to load the entire headquarters and allow everyone into it so they can do their business, which is ridiculous because realistically you could do this in a simple menu screen after the match. We don't need to simulate any of it. So as a way to at least let the headquarters exist to players in between matches, they made the social space not social anymore. It's just you, by yourself, dropping crates for no one to see. I mean, bravo, Activision. You really knocked it out of the park with this one.
Hey, enjoy our new social
If you
space.
get a supply crate and no one's around to see you open it, did you ever really get it?
Not really. Our new social space is a lot like your current social space. Empty. Devoid of friends.
Yes.
As the week has gone on, things have improved. You can bring your pre-made party together in the headquarters, and the servers seem to be more stable, although throughout the week there were still problems with the same random disconnects and loading issues as the first day or two. Most annoying of all is a problem where, after a match, you would be disconnected and lose all of the progress and stats that you'd gained during that match. Now, let me tell you how fun it was to finally beat Capture the Flag, a game mode which I fucking despise but wanted credit for completing on an order. That happened. I finally beat Capture the Flag on the winning side of the team. only to have the game disconnect me upon completion and not give me credit for the win. Fuck you, Activision.
Anyway, let's wrap this up, though, because Shibby needs to give you the real review. The issues are being addressed, and as of Friday, 1 week since release, they have issued a downloadable patch which hopefully fixes things. And when the game is running as it should be, it's actually a decent amount of fun and feels like a modern version of the games that made this series so popular in the first place. The standout feature is definitely the new War mode, which mixes various objectives together in a way that's fun yet challenging, and in general, it plays like it should. And you feel great when you get into a rhythm that allows you to progress and do well.
Yeah, there's a shit ton of problems, and it's completely inexcusable for a AAA title, especially for a Call of Duty title. And we're sure that Activision and the devs have heard people's complaints and know that it was a completely fucked launch. But hey, surprise! None of that matters because you fucks bought the shit out of this game.
Dumb.
Which is good and bad. Good because it proves that people were exhausted with the way that the franchise was heading, and it's a clear indication that they prefer the series the way it was. Bad because despite all of its problems, it still sold twice as many copies as Infinite Warfare, and Activision's stock price was soaring on the news. So no matter what we say or what we experience or what you experience firsthand, none of that matters because the shareholders are happy and they've already got your money.
Woo! Not to mention the fact that they will eventually continue to rake it in once they enable the sale of supply crates and when they release new maps for sale. It's gonna cost you, buddy. Which, oh yeah, by the way, hold on. Shibby, by the way, this game shipped with, like, no fucking map.
Yeah, it's very limited.
Yeah, fuck you, Activision.
There's literally no, like, Pacific in this game at all.
You want the Pacific, buddy, that's gonna cost.
Oh, they're going to do DLC for the Pacific and for Russia and...
Oh, you should have bought the full version, buddy. You could have gotten them for 5% off.
They actually withheld an entire map, unless you did the season pass. So...
Anyway, yeah, fuck you, Activision. Shibby, hope you have something to at least add to this garbage and aren't just going to compare it to PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. Let's hear Shibby's review of Call of Dumpster Fire.
This week I got back from my European tour to share my experiences on the most overhyped game of the year.
Gamer of the Year!
Call of Duty World War II. Ooh-ah! A tragic event in which the death total was between 50 to 80 million human beings. A lot of these deaths in the most brutal ways possible. It's arguably the darkest timeline in our history. However, in Call of Duty, all this is watered down to appeal to the casual market and making the game more advertiser friendly. It's inaccurate. For example, my team of top researchers informed me that female soldiers as infantry, this was not a thing. This is not a knock on women, or they can't be strong or independent, nothing like that. But being frontlines infantry in World War II, it did not happen. Having jobs like a clerk, a medic, intel, industrial jobs, sure, but not in armed conflict. This is just how it was at the time. Last week, having reviewed Wolfenstein, that game is actually, it has some balls and engaged and tough to talk about topics. For example, did not shy away from showing a swastika like Call of Duty does. Wolfenstein showed this horrific shit, but also gave some hope to the player throughout the campaign.
Wolfenstein is not an esport.
Yeah.
Esports ready.
No, it's not. It's a single player game.
Yeah.
Esports ready. It's a meme.
I get it.
About me.
All right.
Call of Duty needs to be seen by advertisers and millions of people watching esports. They can't have swastikas all over it.
Yeah, advertiser friendly, like I said.
Yeah.
Call of Duty simply shying away from all that shit and did not engage in the events that took place in a meaningful way. It just feels casual and glanced over when a game that literally came out last week did not shy away from that. Call of Duty campaign, total shit. Multiplayer, same deal.
There were swastikas in the campaign.
Not really.
Yes, there was.
Inaccurate.
What?
And does not tell the story. Now, I'm not a historian, but I'm fairly sure that infantry did not have access to red dots, aim point sights, and the level optics that is given to each weapon in multiplayer as you level up. Battlefield 1 did a better job of actually having accurate weapon sights on rifles in the game, not giving every goddamn handheld weapon a red dot option, or ACOG. Yes, Call of Duty is an arcadey shooter, but it just feels wrong when I level any weapon up to max and have access to every unlock, suppressor, etc. And then I feel like I'm playing with a weapon that basically fits in every other Call of Duty game. Rapid fire, suppressor, ACOG scope. Doesn't scream World War II to me at all. Voiceover translations when playing as the Germans, for example, are goddamn near robotic. They should have literally hired Elliot to do the voiceover jobs. Did you see our Hitler stream yesterday? It was great. Well, it was on Twitch because we're banned from YouTube. It's fine. Dolphin diving returns as the most deadly tactic in multiplayer, which is completely cheesy. See a guy? Better drop shot. Going around a corner? Better drop shot peek it. Using it feels dirty and getting killed by it also feels dirty. Changing an animation speed as well as accuracy when hitting the ground easily balances that aspect of the game, but nope, gotta be 1337 super elite ass-eating Mountain Dew sipping, you-porn watching Dorito Dunkin' Spurglord. Dumb. Spawns are still shibby criminal. Plentiful microtransactions in a AAA title with Season Pass. Thankfully, Call of Duty, not pay to win like Battlefront 2, which comes out soon. Sad. Maps either flow or take a complete shit on themselves when playing a hard point and players literally spawn behind you. I've been streaming this game on Twitch and literally got wallbanged through a fucking battlefield ship metal by an enemy submachine gun. What the fuck is that? Map count for multiplayer is also very small for a AAA shooter, something like 9 or 10 maps, and these maps are small. Look, it's not like they're pumping out battlefield-sized maps where sure, more work goes into making those big maps and balancing. I get it. These little shitlord COD maps are not that hard to make. They're mostly lanes and have some symmetry. This really pisses me off. There's no dedicated servers. Another what the fuck moment when this game literally has over $1 billion backing. Lag and hit reg should not happen, but it does. It's embarrassing. A lot of stuff in this game pisses me off, and it should be better, because it should be better. Make Call of Duty great again, and this is just shit. Sure, a $60 price tag is not a lot to ask when you have a campaign, multiplayer, and zombies. Every year, $60 is really not that big of a deal. I understand the casual plebs buy this shit on rotation just like their Madden game. It is what it is, and Call of Duty has literally transcended reviews. It's sad. If all reviews for Call of Duty were poor, the game would still sell better than most games out there. That's just currently the ecosystem we're in. It doesn't matter what I give this game because the show is T.U.G.S, and I must give this game a 0 out of 10 because it's sad. The best addition to this game is the headquarters social space, which is somehow better than Destiny's Tower. Go open some loot crates, I guess, and 1v1 me for my daily. I'm out.
Okay, thanks, Shibby. Listen, I'm already exhausted. Let's save our breath for the from the Amazon review this week and just say that 38% of the reviews for the Xbox version of World War II and 45% of the reviews for the PS4 version, they are all 1 star. It's fucking pathetic. Do noi buy. Unless you absolutely can't handle yourself and you want to deal with these issues and there is somewhat of a decent game underneath all that, I would please do noi buy. Send a message.
But then you'll never know what your friends are complaining about. You'll feel the FOMO of all the issues.
It's true. I want to complain too. It's like how I missed out on Fire Festival.
Yeah, I mean, this is how war used to be.
Why can't bad things happen to me?
It's just like World War II. It's like, oh, my friends are getting shipped off to die and
I'm here with flat
Normandy. Oh man, I'm flat-footed. Please send me to war.
I got all these bone spurs.
Like, well, we can't send you to war, but we can give you the super soldier serum so you can go fight Red Skull. And then you get frozen, and then you get dug up 60 years later, and you don't know that blacks are allowed to use the same bathrooms anymore. And it's hard to adjust.
Yeah.
It's hard to adjust. But you know, eventually you do, and then Tony Stark comes in and he's like, hey, why don't we go avenge some things? And you're like, you know what? I got this shield. Let's fucking rock this.
No, what you did was you took a steel rod and you put it under your arch of your foot, and you walked around like that for 6 months before recruitment day, and you deformed your body to not have flat foot so you could actually go serve your country.
Right.
Yeah.
That's when men were men.
And women were men.
Boys were boys.
No, boys were men.
Boys were men.
Yeah. And girls were men.
And dads were dads.
Mm-hmm. Bad dads. Anyways, this channel's banned from live streaming on YouTube.
Can't imagine why.
We were promoting our charity stream, which did great, by the way. We beat our goal, but not thanks to the help of like 3 or 4 users in the chat that was promoting the live stream over on Twitch who were like, fuck this, I'm reporting this channel. So thanks to you fucking assholes, we can't stream on this channel anymore. But we are still streaming on Twitch, twitch.tv/etc_show. We played some Secret Hitler yesterday. That was fun. Yeah, can't do it on this channel anymore, so follow us on Twitch. Also, you can follow me and Elliot on Twitch. We're streaming all the damn time. I'm gonna play some Wolfenstein this weekend.
Same.
Twitch.tv/ITS. Ricky FTW. It's Ricky FTW.
Twitch.tv/ELIOTETC.
So watch some stuff over here that isn't live streams, and we'll see you next T.U.G.S or in 3 months when we can stream again.
We'll see you in the headquarters.
No, you won't.